We're back with another mock draft, this time a 10 team from the number 1 pick. We're going to start things up. Here's our general strategy. For the first couple rounds, I just have my rankings, and we're going to take the best player available as they fall to us. Maybe even into the 4th round. And then after that, we're shooting for upside. In a 10-team league, we don't really want a lot of safe picks. We can find safety. We can find players on waivers because this league is a little more shallow. We're shooting for players who have the opportunity to become league winners for us. I'll start things off and we'll see how this goes. Now, at the first pick, I think you could go either way. You could go Ja'Marr Chase, you could go Bijan Robinson. I've had someone ask that I do this as a draft with Bijan Robinson. I like Ja'Marr Chase just as much, so I'll do this and we'll see where it puts us. Chase goes 3, Barkley 2, Gibbs, Jefferson, Lamb, all pretty normal. Genty going at 107. That's a little bit early for me. I usually like to grab those receivers at that range. Let's see, Achane going 205, Bowers, Josh Allen going in the 2nd round. That's early for me. At this spot, I like A.J. Brown as a top receiver here. I like A.J. Brown in the same group or just after Nico Collins, Drake London. Let's see, Puka's gone, Malik gone. Scrolling through these players, we're going to end up with 2. So I'm going to go with A.J. Brown. And for the other pick, I may end up taking Bucky Irving here. I know this shows Lamar Jackson, but this is just too early for me to take him. If I was at the end of the 3rd round or early 4th, that's when I would consider grabbing a quarterback like Josh Allen or Lamar. It's just too early in the 2nd round. The number shown here is just average draft position, which means people are taking these guys here, so I'm not going to end up with them a lot. Of these players that I'm considering, I like Bucky Irving. Jonathan Taylor has had some smash weeks. He's missed some time. A lot of his production last year came during the fantasy playoffs, which was great. He helped you win a championship, but he didn't help you get there. He missed time, 8, 7, like he disappeared for some weeks with some injuries, but then smashed. So in a 10-team league, I'm shooting for that upside. I would feel safe with Jonathan Taylor or Bucky Irving here paired with A.J. Brown. And I think I'm going to go with the running back here because I can find there's a lot of good breakout candidate wide receivers that I like this year. Matthew Golden, Emeka Ibuka, Ricky Pearsall. They're all pretty easy to get further down the board. So I'm going to shoot for Jonathan Taylor and hope that we get a full healthy year and that the offense flows a little bit better with Daniel Jones there instead of the kind of boom bust, big chunk plays or heavy misses from Anthony Richardson. Players that we see that could come back to us, like I would like Breece Hall. Oh, looks like the draft has frozen for a second. I'm going to refresh and see if it's come to us. There it goes. So I like Breece Hall. I really like Alvin Kamara there. At this spot, we could go for Mike Evans as a really safe play. Or if we went for Marvin Harrison, that's a big upside shot at wide receiver. If we were looking just for safety, I would say Mike Evans or Devontae Adams as a safe wide receiver 2, top 20 wide receiver. Like look at Mike Evans. He missed some time, but was wide receiver 14. That feels pretty safe. Devontae Adams sat out some games, still finished wide receiver 11. So that feels pretty safe. Marvin Harrison's still an elite prospect, and we're shooting for the upside. So if he shows out early, like his value is going to rise up. So I'm going to take Marvin Harrison here, and then I'm going to shoot for either Omarion Hampton or Ken Walker. And really, it's the same thing. We want to see a guy break out. Well, actually, I didn't really think of the turn. You could go either way. If you go Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, you've just got safety. Safety, safety, safety. And the cheap safety. I'm torn. We could also reach for Laporta here. I'm going to see if we can get, I'm going to scroll down and see like maybe Hawkinson falls to us or Kelsey. If we got Kelsey and Henderson at our next 2 picks, that would be great. Tet and Henderson. Let's go with Devontae Adams with our second pick here. I know we could have gone Hampton for the upside, but I think we could get Henderson at the next pick, and now we have a really good base. A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams. If Marvin Harrison doesn't hit, we've got that covered. We've got Bijan and Jonathan Taylor. Let's take a look at what we've got coming to us. Can we get Hawkinson? If we can get Hawkinson, I'm taking that. We don't get Tet, but at this point, if we have Hawkinson, I think did we miss out on Travion Henderson gone? We miss out on that. I like Xavier Worthy. If he had fallen here, I would take that, no problem. In this position, I'm going to go Hawkinson, who seems like a really good tight end option, and RJ Harvey. If we can get a top 24 running back from RJ Harvey, that would be great. So we'll go Hawkinson, Harvey, next pick, next round, guys that we're looking for. Rome Odunze would be a great player to fall to us. And if we don't get Rome, we might just start shooting on these upsiders. So that would be like Emeka Ibuka, Golden, Pearsall, all really good choices. So here we could go for our quarterback. I'm going to go for Rome. And if we needed a safe option, if we hadn't taken Devontae Adams, this is where I would take Jakobi Meyers. Just a really safe option to be this year. Let's take a look at his stats. Wide receiver 19 last year in 15 games played. That's great. This Jakobi Meyers could be this year's version of Courtland Sutton, going 2 rounds earlier. We just said Jakobi Meyers was wide receiver 19 in 15 games played. Courtland Sutton played 17 and was wide receiver 15. It's the same setup. A good veteran receiver moving into a much better offensive situation. So Geno Smith coming to the Raiders, Pete Carroll coming to the Raiders. Jakobi Meyers is a very safe option to return pretty good value. So we could still take him here, and that would free us up to trade Devontae Adams for something. Chris Olave is a player I would consider here as well. Just an incredibly talented receiver who's had some injury issues. But if we can get wide receiver 16 at the end of round 8, round 9, that would be great. So I would take these guys ahead of the players I normally like here, like Golden, Ibuka, Pearsall. I might shoot for just better versions of those guys, Olave and Rome. Now we do have 3 running backs, and we don't have a quarterback yet. In a 10-team league, I think I'm just targeting Justin Fields. He'll be top 10, and he's very, very cheap. People are taking Bo Nix and Jared Goff ahead of him. I could go for Kyler on the turn here. Kyler's a very safe option who's just going to give us a good baseline, can win us some weeks. 28, 25, that's good week winning upside. 4.76, I think against the Bears, they just ran. They had no issues running the ball with the running backs that week. Those things don't happen a ton. So if you're worried about Kyler Murray, you could grab Justin Herbert here. Justin Herbert has league winning upside at the end of the 10th round in a 10-team league. If he can be QB2 again, he's thrown 38 touchdowns. Going into last year, people were saying the Chargers had one of the worst receiving cores in the league. I don't know that that's true anymore. But there was rookie Ladd McConkey. Now they have Keenan Allen, who's just going to help that offense. They have Hampton, who can catch passes out of the backfield. They've brought in a couple other tight end receiving options. Nothing amazing, but it has taken a lot of small steps forward. And at the start of the year last year, Justin Herbert had an injured foot. They were bringing on the rookie Ladd McConkey. He was still developing, so they leaned on the run game. By the back half of the year, he was throwing a lot more. If you just look at the stats for last year, 23, 24, 28 to end the year. He could do that. That's within his range of outcomes. He's a very talented player. At this spot, maybe I would consider Cam Scatterbo, but we would be hoping that he fully overtook Tyrone Tracy there. If we also just wanted another safe option, Brock Purdy at QB. I'm going to go with the options here. Has Ibuka been taken? There's Golden, there's Ibuka. If Pearsall is available, he's already gone. So we have great upside wide receivers. I would have liked to have gotten some of those guys for good value gains, but looks like we just can't. I'm going to go with Justin Herbert. We'll probably snag Fields if he's there in the 12th to just get another great option at top 10. And then the other player here, I'll take the upside on Colston Loveland. We've seen Ben Johnson develop Sam Laporta into a top tight end in year one. So at this point, I would take the shot on Loveland. We're shooting for massive upside. Your 11th round pick can be a total whiff in your 10-team league, as long as you're shooting for the ceiling, just shooting for the stars with these picks. Other players that I'm considering here, like if I hadn't taken a QB, I would take Dak. I'm not really thinking about Ramondre. I don't want safety at running back. If no one in your league has taken Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, make sure you're double checking. Snag him. 10th, 11th round. The commies are talking about trading their current starting running back. The coach has publicly said, I will move Brian Robinson. He said he sat down with Brian Robinson and talked to him about moving him. So they're doing that because they have Krosky-Merritt. We should be listening to that. Last pick before a kicker defense, I might just shoot for Drake May. If he's top 5, if he's this year's Jaden Daniels, like a really good rushing option, offensive coordinators changing, better O-line. The situation is changing in New England, moving on from Gerard Mayo to a proven head coach. I'll take the shot. If he's a top 5 guy, and we have the same value as maybe the guy who took Mahomes in the 5th, that's just a free pick for us. We would have gotten our player in the 5th at the same round someone took Mahomes, and we get the same production. So we would get Devontae Adams and a quarterback as good as Mahomes. Like, that's a big value win. And here, you're probably drafting one of a kicker or a defense. If your league does not require you to, don't. Draft players and make trades before week 1. I would take, here, Nick Chubb is a good flyer. Jaden Blue in Dallas is a good flyer. These are just good flyer options. If they don't hit week 1, like Tank Bigsby, you draft Tank Bigsby, and if he's not the lead guy week 1, you cut him, and that's okay. With your last picks, these are cut-worthy picks. So for our team, we've got 2 stud running backs, Bijan and Jonathan Taylor. We have a solid base at wide receiver with A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams to be our top 2 options, massive upside flex with Marvin Harrison, and then we're looking for boom players, Olave and Odunze. The reason that I might pass on Olave is if your league thinks he's a big concussion risk and that they wouldn't trade for him, then I would just go Odunze. And here I took both, but that's just the option for you. If you don't feel like you could trade a player after they break out and that they are only going to free you up to trade someone else, that could be a reason to pass on them for someone else. Like Olave and Odunze, I like back-to-back. I took them both back-to-back. If you don't feel like you could trade Olave after a breakout, go for Ibuka. Go for other guys like Matthew Golden, Pearsall. There's a ton of great receivers in this range, and one of them should break out and free you up to trade a player. Alrighty, if you liked this one, we've got a couple other mock drafts in 10-team leagues. I think we have the full range of 12-team leagues now. One of them will be on your screen. If you've watched to the end, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much. See ya.